Hi, Collective. How's everyone? I hope you're all well. Thank you for returning, and hello if you are new. We're going to be doing a Death Splits the Difference series in the next couple days. I didn't know where to start, so I rolled the dice, and the dice said start at the beginning. So, Aries, we're doing a Death Splits the Difference for Aries placements, not necessarily just Sun, Moon, or Rising. We can do Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, Stellium, or any area in which Aries is in your chart. If you want to check your chart and see what house your Aries is in, this may manifest in that area of your life. So if your Aries is in the 10th house, this could manifest in your house of career, your area of money, finances, lessons in karma. That's all Capricorn 10th house energy. If your Aries is in the 3rd house, it could manifest in your communication and learning, and that's Gemini energy. So um, we all have all the signs somewhere. So when I say this is for Aries, it's not necessarily just Aries sun, moon, or rising. It's Aries anywhere in your chart. Okay. um so the way we do the death splits the difference is I go through a deck and find the death card and pull death and the card before and the card after. The card before is what's supposed to end, and the card after death is what comes next, or what you're supposed to be moving towards, what you need to bring to life, so that kind of thing. So let's go to the tarot. Remember, not all messages will resonate for every person, so leave what doesn't resonate now, but keep it in mind because it might make sense at a later time. You are all at different points in the timeline. I can read the script, but I can't tell you which character you all individually play or where you choose to stand on the stage, whether you're an observer or a participant involved in what's the energy is talking about. So I can only read the energies. So Aries placements. From the first light tarot, we drew the Hermit before death and Strength after. So the Hermit is Virgo energy. It's guidance, searching for facts, and leaning on your wisdom. It is also a card of um, like pulling back from things and people. Virgo is kind of a solitary energy. They do like their alone time. They do like their sanctuary. They do like to just be hermits, actually, I mean, that's apropos. So this is but it's for this card is for the purpose of gaining higher perspective. Virgo's opposite is Pisces, and Pisces card is the Hanged Man, which is inner perspective. Where now with Virgo and the Hermit, you go inward to gain larger perspective, wider perspective. It's like I heard you're tallying up everything that you've experienced, everything you learned, everything you have, everything you know, everything that you need to consider, and you're going within to try to gain a wider perspective of that. Okay? After death, you've got the Strength card. This is Leo energy. In this deck, it has something to do with telepathy. Now, I don't usually peg Leo energy as particularly psychic, particularly telepathic. But now they're telling me it makes sense if you think about their ego, and they're telling me they're so egotistical that they actually try to put themselves in your mind. I don't know how that resonates with you guys. I can only pass on what I hear. Um, so this is knowing, and it says become an inspiration. Aw. Intellect, intuition, and telepathy. See, this is interesting. Now, with the Strength card, we'll expand on this a little bit. In one of my other decks, in the vice versa deck, I didn't know this until I read the booklet for the vice versa deck, but the woman in the strength card that's wrestling with the lion is actually the Empress from the Empress card off her throne. So it's like I can't believe that I have to get down off of my comfy throne and come and deal with this bullshit because somebody's ego, Leo energy, sun energy, ego energy, someone's ego needs to be wrestled. Okay? Whenever I see the strength card, I always hear the of the divine going because if you look at the card, she's sometimes like trying to force the lion's mouth open, right? And I always hear when you have to go after your dog and he's eating something that he shouldn't be eating, maybe he got hold of like a piece of candy or something that has a bone in it or something, and he's chewing really fast and trying to get away from you, and you're like, "What's in your mouth? What do you have? Drop it. You're not supposed to have that. What? Give me that. What is, and she's forcing his mouth open and the dog is struggling. Well, in this case, the lion is struggling. I always think of that when I see the strength card. It's like if we are in the lion energy, we're the ones struggling to keep hold of something that's toxic, and the divine is trying to wrestle it away from us. And it's taking all our strength to hang on to this. And why are we hanging on to it? Because of ego. Okay? Now, if we are the angel or the empress in the card, then we're the one trying to wrestle with our own ego, and it can be for anything. It can be for maybe it's injured, and the empress is trying to heal it. Remember, the empress is ruled by Venus, and it represents Taurus and Libra, and they're very healing energies. They're feminine energies. Well, Taurus is the feminine side, and Libra is the masculine side. So that's the balance of the strength card. The two have to come together in order to help the ego. In this, in each individual, you're going to have to decide if you need strength because your ego is hurt, or if you need strength because you need healing. Okay. Um, I also hear with strength often that it is the reconciling of power and peace. And peace is represented by the Empress in the card, and power is represented by the lion. So, are you bringing peace to the ego, bringing healing to the ego, or are you trying to empower the peaceful side of yourself? That's what's so interesting about the strength card. That is what dropped after the death card here. So we're supposed to, I think it's calling us, Aries placements, to come out of the hermit energy. It's time for you to step out of hermit energy, okay? One more thing about the Libra with the Empress energy here in strength. Right now, Aries and Libra is in an interesting um, alignment. Well, they're opposites, so even if you are one or the other, it's it's good to pay attention to what's going on with the other side, because not only is it the balance of the other side of the teeter-totter, but it's a mirror. Okay? Right now, we have two placements in both signs. We have the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And in that dynamic, the South Node is where we're coming from, and the North Node is where we're supposed to be going to. So that's interesting because with death splits the difference, it's supposed to be what it's it's a reading for what we're supposed to leave behind and what we're supposed to go towards. Okay, so with the North Node South Node dynamic going on with between Aries and Libra, there is an energy of in the past, whether it's the past of this life or the past of other lives, our souls had given way too much to the relationships that we had with other people. That's one of the energies that Libra rules, is the first step out from within the self to relate to other people. And that's a one-on-one. So everybody gets a different version of a Libra energy. So with the South Node in Libra and the North Node in Aries, we're being guided to draw energy from those relationships that didn't work out, draw energy from the idea of giving too much of ourselves to other relationships at our own expense, and bring some of that energy back into Aries. Aries is the first spark of the consciousness waking up to itself. It's the baby of the signs. And if you think of what is a baby's needs, it's safety, nourishment, input, information. It's very healthy because it's the first. It's like life is just beginning, so it's robust and it's and optimistic and it's vital, or it's high vitality. So we're supposed to pull energy from Libra, from the relationships that we had been giving other people, and put more into the relationship with ourselves. The second alignment that is going on between Aries and Libra right now is Chiron versus Lilith. And Chiron is in Aries and Lilith is in Libra. Chiron represents the wounded healer, and it's an energy of an injury that has been done to our uh, how do I don't want to say ego because that's mostly Leo energy, but there's something else. It's to our self, uh, uh, to the self, as an umbrella term, but it's self reassurance, self esteem, self worth, self promotion, all the self things that are positive. We've got Chiron there, which means there's a wounding there. And that is what I love, that the North Node is also there, because it's like, in order to heal this, Chiron is a wounding that is hard or cannot be healed very easily. And with the North Node there, it's saying, yes, you can heal it, but you've got to pull energy from somewhere else. And in this case, we're pulling it from the other relationships and putting it into ourselves. And that's a tough one. I think there's one grouping every generation that has Chiron and Aries. Now, I was part of the generation 70s. I know there's a segment in the 90s, so I think it cycles around every 20 years or so. It goes. I think that's how long Chiron takes to go through. It's like 20 years to go through the zodiac. So it's like we're coming back around to that same energy. That and I know with the moon being in play lately, we've been exploring the idea of coming back around in cycles that we haven't been able to break out of, and this is one of those. So Aries, oh, it's pulling against Chiron in Aries, which is that wounding to the self worth and self esteem, and also the health. It's a because Aries rules like the fire of the heart or the blood, the life force, okay? So there's a wounding there. And we need to pull from Libra, from balance, from fairness, justice, and relationships, and intellect, the mind, and pull it back into yourself a little bit. In Libra, we also have a placement called Dark Moon Lilith. And what Lilith is, there's 3 different Liliths in astrology, but we mainly deal with Dark Moon Lilith. And it represents the empowered feminine energy. I mean, militant empowered, extremely vivacious, extremely self-aware, like everything that Aries would love to pull back into itself. Um, Lilith in mythology was supposedly Adam's first wife in the beginning, before Eve. And she was an equal, made from the spark of the divine, just like Adam. So they were balanced matches, a balanced pair, the same side of two sides of the same um, balanced soul, a masculine and a feminine, right? But the as the story goes, um, Adam um, wanted to be in a position of authority over her because he was the masculine energy, and that's ego. That's the ego energy, right? And she's like, why would you be my ruler? Why would you be over me? We are both sparks of the divine. We are equally made. Why would I be submissive to you? The only one, she was maintaining that the only one that either of them needed to submit to or feel below was the creator. And he wanted to be above her, between her and the creator, and she wasn't having it. um they kind of like boil it down a little bit and say it was because Adam wanted her to be on the bottom when they had sex, and she was like, why would I be lower than you? Why would you top me? I am your equal. So he didn't like that. He wanted to be in control. So as the story goes, he went to God and he's like, look, the woman won't let me top. She's mouthy. She thinks she's my equal. I want a different mate. Because she challenged him too much. And he didn't want to have to do the inner work to be worthy of being her equal. That's what the ego, the bad part of the ego is thinking way too highly of yourself and putting others down in order to step above them. But God, not wanting to circumvent free will, said, fine, you get what you asked for. And he made Adam another mate. He made Eve. And Eve is the submissive trad wife side of the feminine energy, where she just, yes husband, no husband, children and nurturing and all that, but she didn't have the power, she didn't have the energy of empowerment behind her. She was just the nurturing, acquiescent side of femininity. And when Eve was created, she was created from Adam, not from the divine. She was created from him, and in that for that reason, she is flawed just like he is. So when Eve came around, Lilith got booted out of heaven and was forced to wander the wilderness. And now we don't know because, history or mythology stories, they're written by the winner. So they make Lilith out to be a demon now that she's hell bent on creating strife for Adam and Eve's children because she's the scorned first wife. But I think what it is they're more afraid of that powerful side of femininity regaining her place next to masculinity as an equal. This is a long one, I know. So that's one of the things that's going on between Aries and Libra. So North Node, South Node, and Chiron in Aries versus Lilith in Libra. Um, Aries energy, masculine energy, is being called to reintegrate the empowered feminine aspect of the soul in order for the masculine to be redeemed and re-empowered in his own strength. Okay, we're seeing that play out in the collective as the independent cat lady versus the trad wife dichotomy that we've got going on right now. Okay, now they're arguing, and who's getting off too easy but the masculines. So Aries, that's what's happening energetic wise in the zodiac for your sign. So you're being called to come out of that hermit energy, and put an end to the seclusion. That's what death is in between here. Death is after the hermit, after finding the truth, after being guided and searching for wisdom. You need to come out of it because, and then after that death of that cycle, you're in an energy of strength, or you're being called to come into an energy of strength. Clarifying the hermit energy, you have from the Tarot of the Divine, the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is an energy of kind of being knocked off kilter. You're shook. You're shook. You're shook. You're off balance. You're a little overwhelmed. You're at it. You feel like you're at a disadvantage. Okay, I get it. What's the other thing here? It says timidity, which means you're not as gung ho about doing something. Traditionally, in other decks, the Seven of Wands is having the high ground in defending yourself. Okay? But this one, this is in reverse, so that's why it says that you feel knocked off your game, knocked onto your back foot. Aries, there's an energy here where you had to pull back because something knocked you off of your game. You feel at a disadvantage. After death here with the strength card, you have the Nine of Coins in reverse. And this is usually the Nine of Coins is very abundant, very prosperous. But this is self-made prosperity, right? It took a long time for you to get here, and now you're here to enjoy it. But in this case, it's in reverse, which means there's wastefulness going on here. It's like you're consuming more than you're creating, or you're being careless with whatever assets that you were able to accumulate. Okay. In this case, I feel with these four together, it's asking you to come out of this hermit energy. It says, put an end to this hiding. You were hiding because you felt like you got knocked at a disadvantage. There was a setback here, and now you feel a little shook about it. But you feel so shook, Aries, because you have a very healthy ego about your, where you want to go and what you want to do and who you are and what you want to acquire. That there was a setback here, and now you're shook. Right? There was an injury here to your self-esteem, and now you're hiding with the Hermit card. Now, so with the Death card in the between, it's saying you got to put an end to that. You got to come out of it, because with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse on top of strength, it says you're wasting your strength. You're being careless with your own strength, with your own power. You're being careless with your own power. And now they're telling me that telepathy is supposed to, that's like, they're showing me telepathy with yourself. So it's like you're not just sitting there going, God, I wonder why I'm feeling this way. They're saying, you fucking know why you're feeling this way. You hear yourself talking to yourself. Do you hear yourself? You're talking to yourself, and you know exactly why you're feeling this way. It's because you spent long enough hiding. Like, you really got burned on this. I heard you're taking it out on yourself. This wastefulness on top of strength. Carelessness on top of strength. It's you're being careless and wasteful with your own strength. Should we get some clarity on this? I want to know what this was. I want to know what set you on your back foot. Why you feel like you're low. Because the Seven of Wands represents being on the high ground and being at an advantage. But with this in reverse, it feels like you're low and at a disadvantage. So what happened? What happened to Aries that made them go into their rabbit hole and hide. I get it that it's to regain your strength, but now you're just wasting it. The divine is saying, now you're just being wasteful. You're brooding. You're brood. It's like when your mom sends you to, um, your mom sends you into timeout so you can stop crying and stop having a temper tantrum, and now you're just not going to come out because you just don't want to see her face. It's like you're taking it out on yourself. What happened to Aries, please, to send them into hermit energy on the defense? I heard I couldn't defend my actions. I can't defend my actions. Ace of Wands reversed. Yeah, powerless and a creative block. Okay, so something happened where there was some kind of power drain. That's what I always get with the Ace of Wands reverse. It feels like there was a power drain. And now you're feeling less than. Give me for the Nine of Coins reverse on strength. Wasteful, consumptive. Yeah, look, strength again. And it came out kind of flippy, so it came out almost reverse again. You know, you're at a breaking point. Wow. Or, holding on through change and fear, but I don't get that from this. I feel it. Well, I'm going to put it sideways because I don't remember how it flipped too many times. See how she's wrestling with him to open his mouth? She's like, what are you hanging on to? Give me that. That's not for you. It's going to make you sick. It's going to hurt you, you know? That's the part of you that's trying to wrestle away this feeling of inadequacy. That's toxic to you. You know, you've got to let it go. You've got to put it down. You've got to stop chewing on it. Okay? This is fear also. You're afraid of something, but you're also tired. Let's get an Ancestor Oracle message for the Aries Collective for the Death Splits the Difference card reading. Hermit energy, you've gone within in order to gain a bigger perspective. I feel like it's also trying to figure out where what your position is. You're trying to figure out what your position in this situation, in your mind, in your life, in your family, in whatever is happening. You were knocked off of something, and now you're trying to figure out what your position is, not only with other people, but within yourself. Okay? Now we have here the Traveler. Okay. It says move into a new direction. Excuse me. Let's get the Traveler here. Move into new directions. It says welcome any opportunity to travel. That may really be a great way to break yourself out of this hermit energy because your ego is hurt. Take a day trip or something. I don't know. It feels like this feels like Sagittarius energy. They're the travelers, the wanderers, and they do it so that they can experience new things. So maybe that's the key here, Aries. Maybe you need to open up a little bit and get out of your. They're showing me a plant, and it's bringing itself up out of its pot in order to go somewhere else in the garden. I don't know why they picked that. But it's like you've been marinating in this. You probably stink. You probably haven't showered. You're probably neglecting your, eating. Your energy is low. So that kind of like a feedback loop. Like your energy is low, so you don't put in any effort into your recovery, but you're not getting anywhere in your recovery because your energy is low. So I feel like you're gonna have to do something drastic. You're gonna have to screw those horns back on and bust through this pot that you're in and actually try to move some to a different location. Not necessarily get up and move, like, but maybe mentally, maybe emotionally, maybe take a trip. Okay, let's continue. Welcome any opportunities to travel, either to the other world or to your either to the outer world or to your inner worlds. Wow. The road you're on may be the road less traveled, but this journey is going to be highly beneficial for your emotional and spiritual growth. If it isn't about covering outer distance, it's about covering distance within. And you will be evolving every single moment of it. Evolving. Remember to keep things simple and to lighten your load because that will make your journey more enjoyable. You're also being encouraged to see how far you've come and how you've really grown as a person because this recognition will support you in going even further. And there's a good chance that along the way you'll make new friends who will become companions for a lifetime. So, I mean, I don't mean for it to sound so simplistic, but they're basically saying shake yourself loose from whatever has been keeping you because you experienced some kind of setback, some kind of loss, some kind of blow to the ego. But because you've got Chiron in Aries right now, there is a tendency to wallow in it, to really become like just set in it, and I get that. I really do. I understand that energy. Like I said, the longer you spend in it, the more it's going to consume you. Right now, you have to turn towards your strength because you're wasting it here. You've got strength in the upright, nine of coins in reverse, which is wasteful and careless. And then to clarify that, you got strength in reverse. So that's like that feedback loop I was talking about. So you're being guided to break out and travel a little bit, whether it's exploring new ideas, exploring new ways of self-help, exploring new ways of reinvigorating your health. Those are all extremely important for you, Aries, okay? Traveling, even if it's just now they're showing me like YouTube videos of travelers. My personal favorite has always been Anthony Bourdain. He was the chef who would travel and not only eat other cultures' food, but dive into their history and their dynamic and where their culture comes from and how they're so proud to be who they are and all the strife that happens in a culture in order to make it what it is. That's one of my favorite things about Anthony Bourdain is that he would travel and not only would he sample the food because he was a chef, but he was more of like a traveling poet, a traveling historian, and he would really delve into the intricacies of what made that culture. And when he understood where they were coming from, he actually understood the food more. So try to open up that in that way. It might not help you like in your ego center, but it could be very refreshing to learn something from a different point of view. Okay, now we're going to go to the Oracle deck and get some last minute um, little pieces of advice. I hope this is resonating. I hope the messages are reaching you for your highest good. If you're vibing with my content, please take a moment to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share my videos. It helps the algorithm get my content seen. I am trying to work towards maybe 100 subscribers, hopefully by summer. If I can reach 1,000, then I can do go live. And I would love to do that because then I can take live questions and stuff. In the description, you'll find my email and donation links. I'm open for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. And for any small donation, I'd love to do a 3-card spread for you as a thank you. Email, Venmo, and Cash App are in the description. I appreciate any and all feedback, signal boost, or donation. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Let's get a few more for the Aries placements. Oh my God. I will take these two and that one. All right. What fell? I'll take it. So what do we got here? First, we drop the dagger. And that means worry, fear, and a tense situation. This is here what it looks like. The dagger. Let me turn down the brightness real quick. Maybe it'll look better. Oh, there we go. Worry, fear, and a tense situation. I think this is just your energy, Aries. This is the worry about not being that top dog energy that you love to be. You know, you're very unsure of your own abilities right now. You're very unsure about where you stand with people. I think that you're more worried about it than they are, though. You've got Jupiter energy in play. This is the divine authority, protection, luck. He rules Sagittarius, and the sun is in Sagittarius right now, so that's good. He's the Lord of prayer and prosperity. That's good. But is Jupiter reversed? Let me check real quick if Jupiter is retrograde at the moment. I don't believe it is, but let's see. Is Jupiter retrograde? It is retrograde in Gemini right now. Okay, that explains a little bit. Gemini is the sign of communication. Not only communication, but just processing information. It's ruled by Mercury. Jupiter is in retrograde in it right now. So in retrograde, sometimes Jupiter energy is very egotistical and very sneaky, but also very charming. After that, we dropped the key, I believe. It says, once closed doors may now be opened, you have the answers. What they were showing me when I saw that is that the closed door that now may be open is your own damn door. Like you're peeking out of your bedroom after you've been in hermit mode, like it creaks open a little bit. It says, once closed doors may now be open, you have the answers. It's like when you've been sleeping too long and you're hungry and now you're coming out so you can get something to eat so you can replenish that energy. We also have the card that says self-reliance. It said, don't be afraid to fly solo. This may have to do with death telling you that you're going to have to cut some things loose. Okay? Usually that's people. It could be relationships, but it also could be anything that's draining your energy. We've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. That's a power drain. So anything that's draining you, it could be your own bullshit. You gotta, and it's, don't be afraid to fly solo. Just self-reliance. Rely on yourself, because sometimes that's all you need, I heard. Sometimes you are all you need. Then we got the broom, and it says clean environment, new attitude. The only reason I kept that is because, like I mentioned before, you may have been in hermit mode so long that you've neglected some things, possibly with your own self. You know, that's why I'm like, take a shower, get a haircut, brush your teeth. Do the dishes. It says if you clean your environment, you can actually open up a lot of energy flow, and that will actually help you in your recovery. Okay. Angel sync numbers, you've got 888. It says you are supported. Walk your path confidently. Abundance is ready. Just put in the work. In this case, putting in the work may be putting it into yourself. Then we've also got 1010, personal development. You're awakening to enlightenment. Keep your thoughts focused on your soul mission and your life's purpose. Okay, Aries? I hope that resonated with you guys. We're going to go to Taurus probably tomorrow. Thank you so much, Aries. If you have any questions about the chart or your chart, I can be reached for chart inquiries. If you have any questions about the astrology that's happening right now with Aries and its ruler Mars, which is retrograde right now, um, put it in the comments and maybe I'll answer it in there. Okay, so thank you so much for sticking with me until I see you again in the next couple days. Okay, thanks, bye.